Class 9th, in our previous class, we did about the using combination of sentences without using and, but, so. That is very important part of structural grammar. Now, in today's class, we will do about the transformation of sentences. Okay, and this question is also very important, as this question carries 8 marks, in which you will come to know how to change the sentences. Different sentences will be given to you and you'll have to change the sentence. You'll have to make those sentences into one, but without changing the meaning. So you should take it into consideration. You should keep it in your mind that structural grammar always consists of 20 marks, out of which 4 marks will be awarded for the 8 marks will be awarded for the transformation of sentences, and 4 marks will be awarded for the combination of sentences, that too without using and, but, so. Clear? So it means total 12 marks questions. How it comes, I have told you. So please listen to it very carefully and pay attention. So far we have done literature portion. Okay. In my previous videos we have completed many chapters of literature, Shakespeare and treasure trove. But now in this class, in this session, I'll teach you about the transformation of sentences, that is language part. Transformation of sentences. Transformation of sentences means to change. Transformation of sentences means to changing the sentence from one grammatical form to another, but without changing the meaning of the sentence. The meaning should be same, but the sentences can be different. Like, suppose one sentence I'll give you. Yesterday I did not go to school. It was raining. There are two simple sentences. Now we have to join these two sentences with one conjunction or with the help of some word, and that words are called conjunction. So with the help of conjunction we have to transform the sentences. Like, I did not go to school because it was raining. Okay, one more simple sentence, and in this video I'll tell you that how we could change one simple sentences into another form. Suppose one affirmative sentence, then how it could be changed into negative. Like, he is a good boy. Now without changing the meaning of the sentence, how you can change it into negative? He is not a bad boy. So in this way only we can make simple sentences. We can join two different sentences into one without changing the meaning. That is very important. And we can make use of as soon as, no sooner, in spite of, despite, although, though. So there are many words with which you can join these sentences, but the meaning should be same. So let's start. Okay, now let us do few examples of transformation of sentences. First of all, we will begin the sentence with in spite of and despite. In spite of means something happens which you had not expected, and despite, it's a preposition and meaning is the same. Arun was weak but he passed the examination. In spite of being weak, Arun passed the examination. And how to use despite? Despite being weak, Arun passed the examination. In both the sentences you can see when we use in spite of, we use comma also. And when we use despite, of is removed, but comma is must. Now let's start the sentence with as soon as, no sooner, and hardly. What do I mean by as soon as? As soon as means when, just at the moment, immediately. Okay, no sooner, it also has the same meaning. When something happens immediately after something else. When the guest arrived, the lights went off. How to use as soon as? As soon as the guests arrived, the lights went off. And no sooner did the guests arrive than the lights went off. When we use as soon as, the verb remains same. Okay, like if it is in past tense, then it will remain in past tense. But when with no sooner, we use did, and we use the first form of verb. As it was arrived, when we use did, it becomes arrive. And no sooner is always followed with then. We use then, otherwise your sentence will be wrong. Clear, children? Now, how to use hardly? With hardly, we use had. Hardly is always followed by had, with had. Okay, hardly had the guest arrived when the lights went off. Hardly, with hardly we use had, and when we use had, we use the third form of verb, that is arrived. Okay, begin with unless. Unless itself says not. If you do not confess your guilt, you will be punished. Clear? If you do not confess your guilt, you will be punished. Now, unless, remove this if you do not. In place of if you do not, we use unless. Unless you confess your guilt, you will be punished. Now, see, comma is must while writing the answer. And when we use hardly, it is you should know, you should remember that you have to use when also. As no sooner then hardly when. Clear? Now begin with although and notwithstanding. Although, what in my although? Although means in spite of the fact. Now see the sentence. He is hardworking, yet he earns little. So although, in spite of the fact that he is hardworking. So how to use although he is hardworking, he earns little. Comma is must in place of yet. Notwithstanding the fact that he is hardworking, he earns little. In both the things, commas are must in both the sentences. Now begin with but for. If you now see the sentence, if you had not supported me, comma, I would have lost the election. Means this shows the result. If you had not supported me, I would have lost the election. But for your support, comma, I would have lost the election. The second part of the sentence remains same, but the first part is changed when we use but for. Means, but for your support, I would have lost the election. Clear, children? How to use but is conjunction. Okay, but with conjunction also you can start the sentence. But for your support, comma, I would have lost the election. You can start the sentence with but. Now come to using of to, T-O-O-2. Okay, and when you use T-O-O-2, it will be followed with to, T-O. He is so old that he cannot walk. He is so old that he cannot walk. See the negative, cannot walk. Then how to use to? He is too old to walk. When you use T-O-O-2, it is must to use T-O-2. So in place and T-O-O-2, it makes the sentence negative also. In order to balance, how to use? He is too old to walk. The girl is so beautiful that she is admired by all. It is now using of so and that. Now how to change it into to and to? The girl is too beautiful not to be admired by all. In the first sentence you have seen that we have used cannot. But when we use to, T-O-O-2, it makes the sentence negative. This makes the sentence negative sentence. Okay, negative meaning. He is too old to walk. And next is the girl is too beautiful not to be admired by all. In both the sentences you have observed that how we have used to. When we use so, we use that. When we use to, then we use T-O-2. Okay, then next comes what? Begin with not only but also, and it is also called besides. Besides means in additional qualities also. When you have more than one or two qualities, more than one qualities, then we use not only but also and besides also, in addition. Okay, besides means in addition also. John is wise and industrious. So not only is John wise but also industrious. Clear? And how to use besides? Besides being wise, comma, John is industrious. Now see the placing of a helping verb, that is before John, before now. Begin with in the event of and owing to. In the event of means if it happens. Owing to, okay, it's an adjective, now adverb. Now see, she could not attend the meeting as she was sick. This is the sentence example. Okay, now how to use in the event of? In the event of her sickness, okay, she could not attend the meeting, means because of her sickness, comma, she could not attend the meeting. Then owing to her sickness, comma, she could not attend the meeting. Now see, her sickness, what's the reason? So in the event of, that is the reason. Oh, that is the conjunction. Okay, so sickness is the reason. Okay, with reason you can use in the event of or owing to. Then nevertheless, what do you mean by nevertheless? Okay, and it means that in